I'm Jake Bruton, and today on The Build Show, we're going to talk about collaboration with a building partner or someone that is outside your own market. Let's do it now. Okay, so this week's video is literally just a conversation about how I feel about building, or how Jackson Andrews, this is Jackson Andrews from Jackson Andrews Building and Design, feels about the process of sharing and what we're doing. So when I grew up in this business, it was I'm gonna take this secret to my grave. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk to the competitors because they're gonna steal my method or try to sell me on something that I shouldn't be doing so that they can get ahead. And I feel like even our local HBA, our Home Builders Association, doesn't really promote some sort of brotherhood.
Not at all.
So the guys that I know that are in my market, and this is an outside view because I'm not part of the HBA, the only thing that they get out of it is they get to lobby the city for stuff that they don't like in the code.
Predominantly, yeah.
Yeah.
I said not at all, that was pretty strong. I mean, and then I haven't experienced that as much. There is a lot of this, I've got to keep what we do secret, and because it's how we do it and no one else does it. At least I think no one else does it, our way. But the reality is there are things we do that could be better, that someone else is doing, and things we're doing that are right, but someone else could be doing, better as well.
Yeah, so the reason that I'm having Jackson for this conversation is we have a very collaborative relationship that has been, in my opinion, great for us, and I think pretty decent for you guys. And I want to encourage people to think about things the way that Jackson and I do. So 3 years ago, we met at a random dinner at IBS.
Yep.
So that's point number one. You should be going to conferences. You should be meeting other builders. You should be walking around the show floor and going, hey, do you guys do it like that? This product looks stupid. Do you guys use it? Those sorts of things. So that's a step one, right?
Huge step. I honestly wasn't even going to IBS that year. I'm not really excited about walking miles around conference centers, not talking with someone and just kind of going booth to booth. However, I got an invitation to come to a dinner, and it was like, yeah, of course I'm going to IBS this year. Yeah. And from then on, it was just for me, IBS, that particular event is a chance to just connect with other builders, because I've seen essentially what's come out of just this one connection that that we were able to make in that relationship. And to me, it's a great way to get around thousands of other builders that you can actually talk to more about than just building products. It's building practices and administrative and business practices. So, the collaboration part has been a huge help that really I attribute to going to IBS one year.
And so we're talking about a builder outside of your own market. Now I have a builder in my market that I collaborate with, that I talk to all the time, that he knows he can call and ask me for help or questions, or he can call and say, hey, do you have any T-studs left over? Can I have one?
Yep.
But outside of that one builder, our market is very much the boys club, where we're gonna keep it to ourselves. We're gonna, you're the competition, I couldn't possibly be cordial to you, sort of thing. And I hate that. And so the distance between Jackson and I, he's in Virginia Beach, I'm in Columbia, Missouri, that's an easy one, because he knows that I'm not ever going to build a house in Virginia Beach. Maybe I was here meeting some clients. But that makes it so much easier. And Instagram and Facebook and all of the internet makes this a very easy connection, because you can just, hey, I need to send him a message because I was thinking about something.
Yeah.
So I think, going to a conference, reaching out to people that you respect online and saying, hey, how do you do that? How do you do this? But we decided that it was going to be helpful to share what we do business-wise outside of the building process, the actual business side, and we started sharing documents back and forth.
Yeah.
So we have pre-construction services agreement, we have
construction expectations, even contracts. I mean, we've gone back and forth really with, we've been just completely open with our files, and which is, it seems kind of crazy to do, especially with someone here maybe in the same market, but having that distance was really an easy thing. And I would say from my end, our documents have completely changed, the last 3 years, all of them, whether it's a pre-construction, construction expectations we share, how we go through selections, or even just the construction process and scheduling. Those are all things that we've tweaked and changed. And some of them have been completely scrapped and redone after seeing the ways, Air Building might do something. and probably vice versa a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's been neat to see the documents kind of go back and forth, and then and really I think a lot of us in our industry, we learn through pain, or we learn faster through painful situations, and I don't want to repeat that. And so the more people you talk to, the more pain there can be, and kind of shared experiences. So there's things that Jake has gone through that I don't want to go through, and I've learned how he is, how he's kind of learned to avoid those, and same with me, and I've been able to share those. So it's been like the documentation on the business side of it has been a huge improvement for my business, and how we go through things.
Yeah, and I would say that there's a half dozen documents that I didn't even know existed in our industry, like a construction expectations. Yeah. Give that to them in the first meeting, and then they understand what it's like to build with you, that we didn't have before. But then it's also, I mean, we're sitting in your modern build, and there are a lot of methods here that are like stuff that Steve and I do on a lot of our houses that you guys were able to glean from our process that you guys knocked out of the park here too.
I'm a different builder. My entire team, we build differently because of the collaboration that we really began, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 9 years ago, in those moments I thought, gosh, we're doing a really good job at what we do, but we had such an isolated view of what we do, and really not a willingness to, or even being encouraged to really kind of push past our own understanding. It's kind of whether we saw an Instagram post or we, something in JLC or Fine Home Building, and we would read about, but to not really push our own practices and put them to the test and wonder what else is out there. And so collaborating with guys like you or Steve, it's been able to realize there's a lot better way to do this. And in the last 3 years, our building practices and what we implement have significantly changed. And I mean, sitting here in the modern build right now with you, I mean, able to go through what we've got walls exposed, and you can really see the wall assemblies and what we've done is really, it's a huge, I attribute a lot of that to what we've learned through collaboration. All because I went to a dinner at IBS 3 years ago. And to me, so that's why I'm a huge proponent for collaborating. And you touched on this before. It's safe, and it was kind of a no-brainer, for us being in different markets and a lot of distance between us. However, and this is what you said, I hate it. I hate that there's a lot of this, almost this expected isolation within your market. We don't want to, share what we do because it's what we do, and this is what makes, us so good. But it's really, what we've learned is we do what we do because what we've learned from others, and so why not share that and put that back out? And nothing makes me more excited when an architect or another builder will pick up the phone and be like, hey, what is it that y'all are using? We saw this get installed, and it's for us to just like, hey, let's come in and talk about it. I'll just tell you about it, but this is where we got that product. Some of the products we're using that we've learned from other markets aren't available in our market. So we actually have to do a little bit of legwork to get something available here or find ways to bring it in. And then sometimes through enough, repetition using it, now we've got some suppliers who are like, all right, we'll start stocking this material. This is what we'll do now. Yeah. So again, collaboration has been key to our success and really our growth in the building industry here in Virginia Beach.
So then I would add one more level of collaboration that Jackson and I are also involved with. We have a builders group, small builders group. There's 4 of us. We have one Zoom call once a month, and we're talking 2 more guys that are not in our market that do slightly different things but have a lot of the same philosophies. And that's an amazing, I thought that it was going to be like a burden to do that, or I thought that it was going to be a challenge to find something to talk about. And what I've realized for the past year of us doing that is we start the phone call and somebody goes, oh man, I'm dealing with this week. And then it's a very simple conversation about, oh, I dealt with that 2 weeks ago. This is what we did. Hey, I had that problem. And it's an amazing resource. We have the internet, we have Zoom, we have Instagram, we have this. We can share with others. And I know this is not a particularly in-depth building process video that we normally do on Build Show Network, but I thought this was a really important conversation to go, hey, find somebody that you respect, that you can work with, that's outside of your market, and share whatever you can and become a better builder because of it.
Yeah, I think, so there's a lot of good practices we learned through collaboration. In this builder group that we do, a lot of times what comes up is the stuff that you don't see videos on. It could be just like the business management side of it. our business has thrived because of learning what some of the other guys are doing, whether it's what type of credit card do y'all use, or what type of, what's accounting software, or what sort of platforms do y'all work off of internally in your office to make y'all not go crazy out in the field. And those have been, instrumental in just my sanity, as well as our business success, and seeing differences that make a difference on my family, make a difference on our employees' families. And so even the business side of it is a huge thing to actually start diving into as contractors. And the other thing, there's some guys on the Build Show Network that I think do a good job of sharing sometimes, I'll say the dirty laundry, but it's not what everyone wants to kind of post about, on Instagram or through other social media aspects. But like you said, sometimes we pick the phone call up at this once a month, and it's kind of like when it gets to a person, like, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what we do. And it's not, by building a house, we're dealing with, we've got a lot of different types of relationships between architects, designers, clients, trades, suppliers, manufacturers. We've got all these different components that we're dealing with, especially in the last, take the 18 to 24 months of what we've been dealing with in our market. There's a lot of struggles. And so it's normally one of us is something that we're trying to it's not something pretty that we're trying to kind of work through, or how would you deal with this? And it's like, oh, I've been down that road. This is kind of how we went about it. And so that's been a huge asset as well. Sometimes having a place you can kind of, get some advice, on some of the things that aren't.
Or vent. Or just complain and have somebody besides your wife go,
Instagram videos. So having a nice closed group that you can really just be open with. I think the more open and transparent we are, the better we become. And if you don't have that, then you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah. So find a builder to share your processes with, start a builder group, and I'm going to say, let me know through Instagram whether or not you start a builders group. And I think this is an amazing time for us to be able to share and grow and do things a lot better and make the industry as a whole better. So, Jackson, thanks for letting me come and see the job, and thanks for collaborating in the last few years. Find somebody. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. There's a lot of new content now on the Build Show Network. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the Unbuild It Podcast on Instagram, and we'll put a link down below to Jackson Andrews Building and Design's Instagram, and Rick, his project manager on the Modern Build. So thanks.